Hey everybody, it's Easton Evans, product marketing manager here at Lace, and we have Reese, who is the head of technology at Lace, and we are here to be discussing all things Lace, under the hood, on top of the hood, everything in between that, and kind of going through that. So we'll get started with talking to you a little bit about Lace and what we have in store for the future and what we currently have.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Easton. So, how are you finding Rare Evo?
It was really cool. I think it's a cool infusion of multi-chain. I know that's one of our North Stars at Lace, but seeing so many new chains and new faces come into the space and come into Rare Evo has been great. Seeing the amazing activations, not only from us at IO, but also with all the different protocols, all of our partners, everybody under the sun. Seeing that ingenuity and creativity has been refreshing to see. What has your experience been at Rare Evo?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good to meet the community and just get in sync with really what we're working on and looking at how this aligns with the features that we have coming up. It's actually my first time at Rare Evo. Been with the company for 7 years, but this is the first time to meet some people that haven't made it out to other conferences, and it's a great community base here.
For sure. I was gonna say it's my first time too, and I will say it's a little overwhelming, but it's fun because the people, the community, make you feel a part. So that is another amazing, I guess, caveat and add on to being with IO and also part of the Cardano and Cardano Plus community so far. So I guess for those that don't know or who are day one into crypto or even into the Cardano ecosystem, tell us a little bit about Lace from a high level and maybe into the weeds a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lace is Web3 wallet. It's a self-custody solution for managing crypto assets. We started off as a Cardano wallet, and now we're branching out into other chains with Midnight support. I mean, the Midnight support is a big topic here with the Glacier drop just going live, and so with the push to multi-chain, we've now got to branch out into thinking about how Lace works, and this is the what's facing us now is this transition from a single chain focus now into a multi-chain focus, and that's really the V2 product that we're working on now in the background.
For sure.
Yeah.
Within what it kind of, I guess, from a technical standpoint, or even just from a maybe bringing them in and kind of from a liquidity standpoint, what do you think goes in the mind of what is the next iteration or next chain to bring into Lace, or even just from a Cardano standpoint, what it would be the next ones to partner with?
Yeah, well, we had the Bitcoin support earlier in the year, and then the Midnight support, which is our partnership with Midnight, is on track to be there for the mainnet launch of the network. But after that, we've got XRP on the roadmap as well, and after there's the list continues to grow.
For sure.
As soon as we have this platform to support additional networks, then it just becomes more of a routine process to add support, without losing the vision or without losing access to features within particular networks. So it's a fine line between being a generic wallet and a personal, a custom wallet for that network, and we're trying to find a balance that allows us to be a premier Cardano wallet as well as a premier Bitcoin wallet, premier Midnight wallet.
For sure. How does it stack up in terms of keeping the tech really, really high level and being able to integrate a lot of different partners as well as different chains, along with keeping maybe the user interface or keeping it as simple as some people would like it? I think there's an interesting kind of dichotomy between the two. How do you balance that from a tech standpoint?
Yeah, it's the big challenge that this space really faces is that it is a technical domain, and you can go too far in either direction of trying to be as flexible as what that system can support or as simplified. And so Lace V1 is more in the realms of the simplified experience, which does limit some of the capabilities. So with our new product, Lace V2, the concept is to allow that decision to be in the hands of the user.
For sure.
So building lower level functionality and then adding those conveniences on top, but still being able to access all of the power. And so the approach that we're taking is one of layering. So ensuring that we have the low levels in place, building really nice interfaces that can access those features, but then also continuing to stick with that legacy of Lace being an accessible wallet. And we're doing that as well with an approach, a technical approach of building as much of the stack that can be shipped onto as many devices as possible. Mm-hmm. And this has been a big part of the direction of V2, is to ensure that we can launch a mobile product, launch an extension, a new version of the extension, and add features and make changes to all platforms at the same time. So mm-hmm. same-day releases of new features, which is a compelling end result for users. You can expect the same type of experience on your mobile that you can on the desktop.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And I guess another interesting and like a really cool feature that we provide is that we're open source. We're open source and we have tons of great partners and tons of great builders on the ecosystem. How's it been, I guess Rare Evo being a place where you are able to meet and chat with them, but how has it been integrating and working with them? And how has the community at whole been in the inception and growth of Lace? How has it been kind of fostering that?
Yeah. I mean, it's the sort of age-old situation of building. It's, do we build ourselves or do we partner and build or buy?
Right.
And we're moving towards the ensuring that we're partnering because there's a good alignment there. We don't have to do everything. Mm-hmm. We traditionally in the Lace product have had to build a lot of things, but that's just the nature of the ecosystem maturity. So now it's great to see, events like Rare Evo. There's multiple options for partnerships, right, and solid technical partnerships. There's multiple options for prototyping to happen because of the open source nature of the code base. So I know of at least 2 prototypes being built right now that is by nature of the fact that we have open source code, mm-hmm, and those teams can experiment and prove there's a good feature in here. So yeah, open source is at the heart of what input output does, and there's no difference there with Lace.
For sure. Yeah. So if any partners are out there, or anybody who's an enthusiast or is a builder, make sure you reach out. We will facilitate that, Reese or myself or anybody on the team, and we will try to accommodate partnerships, or at least listen and see what we can build together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess we can kind of shift it into maybe the roadmap and seeing what features we kind of have on the roadmap for now. So demoing out maybe a little bit of mobile, talking about V2, but what does that really mean? And what is that kind of like, if I could give you like the next 3 features or 2 features that you are super excited about, what would those be?
Yeah, I mean, we added Bitcoin support in a very the minimum amount of support to consider that, yes, a user that's holding Bitcoin, BTC on Bitcoin network can manage the assets in Lace. But what we're missing now is the support for the protocols that exist on top of Bitcoin there. We've got consumer excitement around ordinals and runes. So adding those features will take us to that sort of feature complete level within our Bitcoin support. Of course, that will then be translated into the V2 product as well, and that's where we end up with having assets that are across different blockchains and different networks, all in the same view, so you can really use that as a portfolio tracker.
Right.
And that's what unlocks the experiences that we're looking at with Bitcoin DeFi and doing the allowing liquidity to come across from different chains. But that's really a technical concern. The user is more concerned about tracking all of their assets
in one place,
regardless of which chain that they exist on. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So there is going to be swaps and swapping available at some point in time.
Yeah. I mean, DeFi is the exciting aspect that we currently we don't have support within Lace.
Right.
we support interactions with dApps via the connection API, but having the ability to do a swap inside of Lace, that's kind of like the stepping stone then into other more sophisticated financial products, but it is an important part. So I'm excited about being able to bring access to swap feature within Lace, and the approach that we're taking there will be to allow our users the ability to get quotes from multiple sources. They can decide which quote they want to take, and it just creates a better market dynamic and better efficiency in the market. We're not going to be pinpointing a specific integration. We want to have multiple integrations and allow the user to decide based on the results that come back. So.
Right, free market principles.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
awesome.
that's in line with our principles in general, which is we want to open access to the available markets, and that's why having lots of partners and lots of teams that are able to to effectively compete, but we're here to make that more efficient.
For sure. Okay, so for those that are listening, that is a bunch of alpha right there, where we're expecting swapping and being able to do a lot of features, or at least a lot of have a good amount of abilities to do stuff in app, which currently we've been able to facilitate, not in app, but everybody's working really, really hard on V2, which will help kind of facilitate that. I guess we can transition into a little bit more about Bitcoin DeFi, because I know we were talking about V2, but Bitcoin DeFi has been a huge, huge push from a tech standpoint or bandwidth standpoint. How has that been trying to bring Bitcoin DeFi to life, and what goes into that?
Yeah, the demonstrations that have been shown so far is a proof of concept. Mm-hmm. The challenge that we face, or the wallet ecosystem faces here, is how do we represent that experience? How do we simplify that experience without misrepresenting what is happening? It's a fine line between exposing under the hood the technicals and keeping that flow nice and simple to understand. And our attention up to this point has been on the end user experience and trying to lead the way in what that could be as a sort of quasi standard. And then supporting the team that's building the technology to actually make that happen. Right. So once we have clarity on technical specifics, then we can start to actually build that feature out. It will be so the prototype and the demonstration that we're seeing, it's based on the V1 design. So we'll translate that into the V2 concept, and that's where we'll build.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, as somebody who's dabbled a little bit into Bitcoin, I think a lot of what we're hearing, and maybe from what I'm seeing online, is that a lot of the Bitcoin maxis and even just enthusiasts in general want to have a little bit more accessibility or versatility with their Bitcoin. And so by doing that already, with Bitcoin DeFi allows there to be an added liquidity, but also really fills a hole in the industry, which is what can Bitcoin users or maxis do with their coin that they weren't able to, and always do it in one place. Yeah.
There's a few key user experiences that we're focusing on. It's a bigger topic. It's not just about Lace, but Lace obviously is the user interface. The one of the sort of key use cases here is just unlocking the capital that you have as a Bitcoin holder by holding BTC on Bitcoin network. And there are, in some jurisdictions, there are advantages to, say, taking a loan out using Bitcoin as capital rather than selling it and then having the funds, because you don't have a tax implication there with capital gains. So we're just trying to, as a wider team, really. There's a workshop actually happening now here at Rare Evo discussing this type of situation and really where does the Cardano ecosystem and the DeFi builders on Cardano, like, where is their perspective? And so we're being partners in that regard as well, but also trying to focus in on what does that end user experience look like and make sure the technology is there to support that user flow. Awesome.
Yeah. I know we were also going to talk about, and again, this is intended to, for those that aren't very aware, talk about block frost. So could you go into that and kind of how, the desktop integration is going to go, and a little bit of just like history, like just little bits into it, because not a lot of people know.
Yeah, Blockfrost is an API service. Currently, it's a centralized service. It offers a really great way for builders to get started. They don't need to run node infrastructure. It's a SaaS, API as a service. There's a program underway currently where the remote service will be distributed across the stake pool operators.
Right.
So the stake pool operators will also be running infrastructure if they elect to opt into the program. It's called the Icebreakers program.
Oh, that's really cool.
And in order to do that, they've had to do some re-engineering and packaging of the solution, and that solution is now available. It's in production right now. There's a partnership between TX Pipe and Blockfrost to package that same software to run in a desktop environment. So this brings us back to then being able to offer an experience in Lace where you don't no longer do you have to rely on a central service or even a decentralized backend service, but you can be in charge of your own service.
Right.
And that's a use case for desktop users who appreciate more of the benefits of having your own local node versus relying on a network to provide that for you. So it's a potential pathway forward for Daedalus users. Daedalus was the original IAG Cardano wallet that has a fully encapsulated node. It's quite heavy.
Yeah.
It doesn't integrate with the ecosystem, so it's really just the holder's wallet.
Yeah.
So we recognize that there is a group of users there that are looking for moving to a more modern wallet. This Blockfrost solution provides that pathway. For Lace, it just means changing configuration in the settings. We're prototyping this right now. We actually have a demo here at Rare Evo, and as that solution becomes more mature and to the point where it's now production ready, we will then be making a release of Lace that allows anyone to run their own local node with the Blockfrost service running, change the setting, and then you can use Lace, use all of the ecosystem that users are currently, but when they're fetching data, it's coming from their own. They don't have to trust anyone else for that information.
That is really, really cool, because I was going to say, I think my data list is still loading up at this point, which has been a pain point. But, you know, it's still an amazing product in itself. But being able to bring that over to Lace is...
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it did the job. It bootstrapped the network. It was there as the original wallet. But there's new technologies now. There's different patterns. You know, the majority of wallets now are being offered either as a web extension or as a mobile application. So it's quite niche. But we recognize that a lot of the early supporters, early adopters, do still use Daedalus. So we need to have a pathway forward, and we want to be there for that.
For sure. Again, we're going to take another little pivot into Web3 cashback and kind of bringing that on board. So let's talk about that, because I know it's been a kind of like not a buzzword, or even like people are coming out with new products, but what does that really mean, and how are we bringing that solution to life?
Yeah, we're working with Bring Web3 right now, and that program is a way to utilize your stake in a particular network to get benefits when you're spending as a consumer. So this is a great sort of add-on value feature. We see the potential. Again, this is a partnership versus a build, and we want to offer access to these types of incentives and programs to our Lace users. So we have it in the early stages of a development process right now, but again, until we get V2 out, we have to focus on V2. Getting that starting point. V2, as we probably haven't mentioned here, is the launch of our mobile product. For sure.
So in theory, I could pay with a card and then basically have the rewards or some type of cash back be you know, put onto my Lace wallet, and I could be able to see that in real time.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you as a participating a vendor, there's a integration that happens with Lace because Lace is running in the same in the browser, so it's able to communicate and effectively register that purchase, and our users will get a cashback in the form of an ADA payment made to them. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then, I mean, that gives us the perfect kind of segue into, like, you know, with people talking about payments, and I think Apple Pay and different versions and using their phone is a really popular thing, but talking about mobile a little bit, super important, because I know everybody's mobile when's mobile. Is it going to be iOS, Android? Is it going to be any separation in time? Let's walk through that a little bit.
Yeah, yep, mobile. So our strategy with mobile is to use a technology that allows us to ship as much of the same application onto different platforms. So for the more technical group, we're using React Native strategy, but just generally what this allows us to do is to focus on building features and then have a very, very small amount of code that requires it's the glue between those platforms, and that allows us to just focus on building out features, but it's a great experience on different platforms. So we're targeting iOS, Android, Chrome extension. We've got a Firefox extension currently, and we have an Edge extension. So it's, as you can see, if we were trying to target individual platforms here, that creates a lot. It's quite inefficient.
Right.
Where we need to utilize the native libraries, that's where we'll focus our attention. But for the majority of features, it's just not required to deliver that experience.
For sure. I didn't want to leave anybody out. Would Brave be incorporated in any of that, or is that? Yeah,
Brave is using the same store as the Chrome extension.
For sure. Okay, so everybody.
Brave users are in that, yeah.
Okay, awesome. I know we were also kind of getting into some of the identity topics and how we are able to secure that. Let's, again, walk users maybe the importance of that, and then how we're incorporating that into Lace.
Yeah. Identis joined the Lace team fairly recently, so we're going through a transition phase right now. Identis, the product, is a set of tools and libraries in order to build SSI type solutions. So Lace is a natural home for this team to be able to focus on their own product, but have a direct integration as part of the everyday focus. The technology itself, though, can be integrated with other stacks that we can then be integrating directly. So we can add identity solutions that are both a direct implementation of Identis, but also coming through via other solutions that are targeting specific markets.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. With us kind of being a little bit technical, I mean, for you, listening, like the voice of the customer, people talking, whether it be on X, whether it's just stopping you at Rare Evo. I definitely wanted us, as we're kind of getting to close, to talk about maybe what is our process of listening, or how do you go by listening in terms of getting feedback to iterate on the features.
Yeah, we want to be like developing features that have an impact and have real user value. We have an active Discord, as you know, Easton being the owner of the Discord server, right, and pushing that forward. But we have to go where the people are.
Right.
So X is a melting pot of opinion, but we get a lot of great ideas through there. But we're moving into a direction where we can actually do more market testing before rolling a feature out, or before committing to a full development cycle around a feature.
Right.
And V2's strategy is to facilitate that type of process where we don't have to guess, we don't have to just rely on surveys. We can actually do real market testing, A/B testing, where we show the same version, like different versions of one feature, and see who gets the
better response,
which gets
rate.
the use. Yeah. So this is all a strategic change that we're going through right now. We can use real data to validate assumptions about what our product team is developing. And we also are here to translate the vision of Charles and other industry leaders, and that's our job, is to try and translate a lot of these visions and opinions, and then test and see, is it actually an effective solution? Are our users getting value from this? And that's what we'll use to inform further future decisions.
For sure. So we do listen to everybody's criticism and don't hold back. We love to hear any harsh takes or criticism, because we need that to continue to further push Lace forward, as well as continue to add improvements and really get to the features that we need that will make you all happy. So good. We love the good stuff, but we also need some of the criticism as well.
Yeah. There's I think there's one of these situations where there's great ideas, there's really creative solutions that are being thought about, but until we have validation that we have a market fit, we have to be selective.
Right.
There's actually a really interesting feature right now that we're looking into, which would make the process of managing an account more customizable, so that you're not fully exposed when interfacing with dApps. You can do key rotation without changing your address. So there's some really cool innovation. I mean, we are on the cutting edge here,
right.
The bleeding edge of this technology movement. So we also can't ignore the innovation. So having an innovation stream within Lace is also part of the strategy, where we can test out these more cutting edge ideas, because someone's got to come up with it, and until we test it in the market, we don't know if it's just a novel idea or if it actually has a fit.
Right.
But there are some really amazing features that we have in mind. That's probably opens up the door to say, join the beta program, and that's where you can be part of that process. We're decentralized by nature here. We want to be pooling the knowledge and the opinions and the experience of the ecosystem. I
was going to say, and also this is a great opportunity to rub elbows with some of the best and brightest in the industry, and you never know what we might need somebody who has your skill set at Lace. So
absolutely, yep, exactly. Always on the lookout to see where we have alignment with there's talent, there's skills, there's ideas, and we've a very dynamic roadmap. We adapt to what the market leads us in and the direction the market leads us in. So absolutely, if there's any interest in coming along and working alongside us, either in a partnership or some type of other agreement, then reach out and join our Discord.
For sure. Last question. We have 90 seconds and then we'll taper it. Are you going to be in charge of bringing the NES to life in Lace?
That is a project that we have in the roadmap. Yes, it's a NES, so the Nintendo emulator. There's game. I mean, everyone loves games, right? So there's another novel idea that there's a crossover here between gaming and holding tokens and using wallets in order to represent your identity, to register for a game. So there's a lot of innovation in the gaming space, and we are excited about exploring some of these ideas, especially with Charles driving that direction.
For sure. I mean, I guess that sums it up. I mean, Reese this was amazing, mind-blowing in totality. That being said, I guess we can, if you can hop on socials, please follow IOG, please follow Lace, as well as myself and Reese. You can follow me at PrimetimeND, PRIMETIME, and follow Reese at.
Yeah, I'm Reese LBW, RHYS LBW.
Please hit us with any feedback, any criticism, any kudos, the whole nine. We love to hear that, and try to make some iterations and bring your favorite features to life. If not, lace up.
Yep.